Before you buy a single item this year for San Diego Comic-Con, you're going to want to watch this video. Today we have part 2 of our San Diego Comic-Con Lookback series where we take a look at all the items that dropped last year and we have some jaw-dropping details. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel for part 2 of our San Diego Comic-Con Lookback series. If you guys happen to miss part 1, we dropped it last week and I highly encourage you guys to go check out that video either before or after you watch this one. So today we're going to pick up right where we left off in part 1 and we're going to jump into all of the pops that we have remaining as well as the sodas that came out for last year's catalog to talk about. And this is going to be a very important video that I highly encourage a lot of you guys to stick around until the end with, because there's a lot of details jam-packed inside a lot of the prices that we're going to be talking about, and watching this video could potentially save you money for this year's con. So without further ado, let's jump into the first pop. So the first pop that we're actually going to be talking about for today's video is the metallic Charmander. Now, as you guys know, Pokemon pops, especially the metallic ones, are usually heavily desired by collectors. And this one was a weird one. It was an FYE shared exclusive. It actually partially released for WonderCon of last year, and then the rest of the stock did end up being a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Now, the shared version is currently going for $24, while the con sticker is currently trending for $65. However, there is one key factor that we have to point out with this pop. Despite it being a very popular Pokemon character, when this first hit the market, it was trending for upwards of $140. But like I just said, it is currently trending for $65 with the con sticker. The con sticker version of this pop fell so hard only a few short months after its release. So pretty interesting to see that a character that was highly anticipated from a very popular IP and in metallic form nonetheless still dropped off very harshly in price. So next up, we actually have my most anticipated release for San Diego Comic-Con 2022 in the form of the flocked Black Chrysanthemum. Now, if you're scratching your head wondering who the heck is Black Chrysanthemum, he was the Wookiee bounty hunter that appeared in the Book of Boba Fett series on Disney+. He is a pretty big character in the Star Wars universe, and it was our first time actually seeing him in live action form with that Book of Boba Fett series. Unfortunately, the series did not do entirely well, and there was a lot of mixed reviews and harsh reactions from the show, but nonetheless, I did enjoy his character. Now, getting to his pop, even though this was the first of his pop when it first dropped, they've made several Chrysanthemum pops since it's released. The shared sticker version is currently going for $26, while the con sticker surprisingly is trending for $70. I do think this pop will continue to go up in price in the long run, just because I believe that Chrysanthemum will show up in another Disney Plus series, whether it be another season of the Book of Boba Fett or a future season of The Mandalorian. I do think we're going to see him again, and that's why I think it's good to keep an eye on his pop, but nonetheless, it is still pretty affordable at this time. So next up, we actually have another GameStop shared exclusive in the form of Serpentor from G.I. Joe. And interestingly enough, the Retro Toys line has not done very well over time, and I think the prices of Serpentor will accurately reflect what I'm talking about. So the shared version of Serpentor currently goes for $13, while the con sticker currently goes for $60. There isn't a lot of sales to back up that $60 price tag for the con sticker of Serpentor, but nonetheless, we'll take that as the value. Like I said, retro toys overall have not been entirely popular with a large amount of collectors here in the Funko community, as I think that Funko went all in on this particular line, and there just isn't a lot of demand for this series. So we'll see if we get any more G.I. Joe characters this year for San Diego Comic-Con 2023, but in the meantime, Serpentor is pretty affordable. So next up, we actually have our first oversized pop to talk about for today, and this, of course, is Unicron, which was a 10-inch shared exclusive pop with GameStop. Now, Unicron is from Transformers, and there is some Transformers hype these days, as we currently have Transformers Rise of the Beast currently playing in theaters, and I've actually heard overall that the movie's doing pretty well, and a lot of people have enjoyed it. Unicron here, man, I wish I would have picked up a few of these 10-inch pops when I saw them on clearance at GameStop when I was going around and pop hunting last summer, because I think some of you guys will be pretty blown away by the current trending values for both the shared sticker and the con sticker version of this pop. The shared sticker is currently trending for $55 and the con sticker is going for $90. I think a lot of collectors are having a hard time collecting this specific, size of pop because it takes up so much space. So really interesting to see a very high price tag on that con sticker version of this 10-inch pop. So I'll be curious to see if this pop continues to go up with the little Transformers hype that we have, or is it going to go down and the price tag that we have at the moment was just a hiccup due to the excitement for the new movie. And just like Unicron, we actually have another larger exclusive pop to talk about, this one being from the DC universe, and this is actually the Penguin in Duck ride, which you can classify as a pop ride, but it does come in that deluxe style, rather smaller box, which I think was really wise of Funko to do that. This pop is truly incredible. We actually got one of these recently in a collection, and I didn't even know until I saw this pop in person that there's actually two little penguins with missiles strapped to their back inside the pop ride. So this thing is genius. It is super cool. It highlights Danny DeVito's Penguin from Batman Returns. However, there isn't a lot of demand for the shared sticker version of this pop, as it's currently trending for $40, so only $10 higher than retail. There's a higher retail cost for these larger items, for those of you guys who don't know. The con sticker does have a little bit of value, coming in at $65. We did just get Michael Keaton's Batman returning for the Flash movie. I haven't seen that movie. I've heard mixed reviews, and I don't think Danny DeVito's Penguin made a appearance or anything like that, but I'll be curious because this is just such a unique pop ride if it actually goes up in value in the long run. We also don't get a lot of pop rides for San Diego Comic-Con, so if you have this in your collection, you definitely have a very unique DC piece. So next up, we actually have our first anime pop to talk about for the day, and this one was one that we were all scratching our heads over, and I think even the anime people were scratching their heads as well. So this is the Goku driving exam pop from the very popular anime Dragon Ball Z. Now we do usually get 1 or 2 Dragon Ball Z exclusives for all the major cons, so this one really wasn't a surprise. However, I think this was more on the lackluster side of when it comes to having a pop exclusive, especially for San Diego Comic-Con. But nonetheless, this pop is currently trending for $24 for the shared sticker and $50 for the con sticker, which I think is actually pretty surprising. It is more surprising, though, at how much this pop has come down in value. It was originally going for $115 for the con sticker when it first hit the market, and now it is trending for $50. So it has depreciated quite a bit, so it seems like anime collectors may not be going after this one after all. So now we have a nice, happy, family-friendly pop to talk about from the anime Jujutsu Kaisen, and this is Yuji Itadori with Slaughter Demon, which I believe is that giant sword that he has in his hand, or she has in her hand. This is a very unique pop. I like the action pose with this character. However, there is a very, very big price gap between the shared sticker and the con sticker, which I always find very interesting. The shared sticker is currently going for $22, while the con sticker is trending for $135. So if you have the con sticker version of this pop for your collection, this is definitely a grail. However, it used to be a much bigger grail, as when this pop first hit the market, it had actually peaked at $190 and then came down by $100 very quickly and was trending for $95 for a while, and it has slowly started to come back up, which is very interesting with this one. So it seems like, I guess, a lot of people were going after it, and then a lot of people decided that they were not going to pay as much for it. So if you're an anime collector out there, don't get bit by that FOMO. This is a great example of another one that may start high, but then it will come down and then rise again over time, because anime does have a very consistent following, but that doesn't mean you need to shell out a whole heck of a lot of money in the beginning. So next up, we have the third and final Star Wars exclusive pop that we got for San Diego Comic-Con in the form of Cassian Andor. Now, once again, some of you guys may be scratching your heads wondering, Who is Cassian Andor and why does he sound vaguely familiar? Well, he did get his own series on Disney Plus. We did get season 1 last year, and the show was actually very, very good. I would even venture to say that it was better than The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, and The Book of Boba Fett. But Star Wars fans, don't hate me. I just think the show was incredibly good. However, Cassian Andor does not carry a lightsaber or wear Mandalorian armor, so nobody really cares about him these days. And this pop in particular was pretty boring. We are getting Andor Season 2, but I don't think that's going to play an impact at all in this pop's price. The shared sticker is currently going for $23 as it was shared with Target, and the con sticker, believe it or not, is trending for $70. I'd be shocked to see anybody pay $70 for the con sticker of this pop besides me and a handful of other hardcore Star Wars fans, but nonetheless, I really don't see this pop being any more expensive than that just because of how lackluster of a character he is compared to a lot of other very mainstream popular characters in the Star Wars universe. So next up we actually have another Target shared exclusive, this one being a Marvel pop in the form of He Who Remains. Now, even though the box says He Who Remains, we all know that this is Kang the Conqueror, and the very first Kang the Conqueror pop, technically. Now, there's a lot of things going on with Marvel these days. The MCU actually just did a huge shakeup and rearranged all of their upcoming projects for the next few years, and they've even pushed back the next 2 Avengers movies by a full year, and I think that has directly to do with everything that's going on with Jonathan Majors, who is the actor who currently plays Kang. Now, there's some uncertainty as to whether he's going to continue playing the role, but that being said, we're just going to focus on this specific pop from the end of Loki Season 1. This pop is currently trending for only $16 for the shared exclusive, which is only $1 above retail value, and the con sticker is trending for quite a bit more, coming in at $75. This is an interesting one. I don't think they'll ever make another pop that says He Who Remains, so if there's some die-hard Kang the Conqueror comic book fans out there, this one might be a must-have for their collection, whether it be the shared or the con. So I could definitely see this one going up in value. However, I think what happens to Jonathan Majors and Kang the Conqueror overall in the MCU will have a direct role in this one's price for sure. So next up, we actually have our last Target shared exclusive to talk about, and I'm actually blown away at how reasonably priced this pop is, considering how unique and different it is compared to a lot of the other more mainstream pops that we've gotten for San Diego Comic-Con 2022. And this one is the super cute Hugsy the Penguin from one of the most popular TV shows of all time with Friends. Now, I'm actually in the process of watching Friends for the first time, and I absolutely love it. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm kind of kicking my previous self for not watching it sooner, but that's just how life works out sometimes. In the meantime, Hugsy is currently trending for only $23 for the shared sticker and $35 for the con sticker. And the reason that I'm so shocked that this pop is so cheap, you know, on top of Friends being as popular as it is, I don't think they're ever going to make another Hugsy the Penguin pop. And how many more Friends pops are they really going to make? They've done the main line, they've done the Halloween line where they were in various costumes. So I really don't see Funko coming out with a lot more Friends exclusives in the future. I could be wrong, but I really think this is one that's going to go up in the future just because Friends completionists are going to need to have this one for their collection. So now we actually have a pop to talk about from Masters of the Universe, this one being He-Man with the Sword of Power. And I'm guessing that giant green sword that he's holding, which does look a little bit, you know, massive compared to the size of the pop, is the Sword of Power. This pop also happens to be metallic. It was a Toy Tokyo shared exclusive, and I don't think there's a lot of Motu hype these days, even though we do usually get 1 or 2 or multiple Masters of the Universe exclusives for San Diego Comic-Con. The shared exclusive is currently trending for $17, while the con sticker is only going for $32. That is extremely cheap for a con sticker San Diego Comic-Con pop. So I think the lack of hype and interest in Motu right now is reflected in that very low affordable price for the con sticker. But if you're a Motu fan, that's very good news for you because then you can go out and grab this pop without having to shell out an arm and a leg. So up next we have another crossover pop to talk about, this one being Leonardo from the crossover series of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers. We talked about another one of the turtles in part 1, and I actually mentioned that this line seems to be gaining popularity as of late, as Funko has released all 4 turtles, and then they also released Shredder from this line. So thankfully all 4 of the main characters are out, which gives people an opportunity to go out and get them without fear of Funko never releasing the rest of the line, which they do sometimes with certain lines. Nonetheless, the Leonardo here is going for $28 for the shared sticker and $40 for the con sticker. Now, this was another Toy Tokyo shared exclusive, and the con sticker, once again, is very affordable. It was not very affordable when this pop first hit the market, as only a few weeks after San Diego Comic-Con, this was trending for upwards of $150. And then it depreciated very quickly by well over $100, and it fell to $40, and it's been pretty much hovering around that price point ever since. So that, to me, is very interesting and very scary that a pop could depreciate by that much only a month after the con. So if they continue to do more of these crossover pops, definitely don't pay a lot of money in the beginning. So now we're going to move on to a Hot Topic shared exclusive, and this is a very cute Disney pop in the form of Bambi. And this is actually Bambi with the butterfly on his tail. Now, I think this is a very cute pop. It did get a lot of mixed reactions, and I can completely understand why. A lot of people were saying that the butterfly kind of looks like a hot dog or a sandwich or something of that nature on Bambi's tail, and that overall made the pop a little bit weird looking. I think that has to do a lot with how it's currently trending in value, as you can get the shared sticker exclusive version of this pop for only $15 today. That's right, this pop a year later, or almost a year later, since San Diego Comic-Con 2022, is still at only retail value. The con sticker is a little bit more, trending at $35, but I find that very interesting because they have not made a lot of Bambi pops overall when you're talking about Disney in general. They've made a ton of certain characters like Stitch and you know, some other ones come to mind at the moment, but Bambi has not been overly produced, in my opinion. So very interesting that you can still pick this up for pretty much retail, even though we're almost a full year later. So next up, we actually have our last Marvel shared exclusive to talk about in the form of the Action Pose Jumping Silk. Now, this is actually a really cool pop from the Spider-Man universe. If you guys don't know who Silk is, she is a Korean-American student who is actually bitten by the same exact spider that bit Peter Parker and gave him his powers. So you gotta be careful in New York City because that one spider definitely gets around. Nonetheless, this was a Hot Topic shared exclusive pop, and the shared exclusive is currently going for $21, so not much more over retail, with the con sticker going over $40, currently at $41. The original Silk Pop, though, interestingly enough, was a Walgreens exclusive. That one has seen a pretty high jump in value as of recently. It was going for about around retail, and now it's currently trending for $38. So I'll be curious to see how high that one goes, and if the con sticker version of Silk from last year's San Diego Comic-Con follows suit. And now we have our final anime pop to talk about from last year's San Diego Comic-Con in the form of Enmu from Demon Slayer. Now, Demon Slayer, once again, another very popular anime, so really not surprised to see this exclusive dropping last year, and I'd be surprised if we didn't get another Demon Slayer pop this year for San Diego Comic-Con. This was a Hot Topic shared exclusive. The shared version of this pop is currently going for $27, while the con sticker is currently trending for $115. So this is a legit grail if you happen to have the con sticker pop in your collection. And I'd like to point out once again that we have a very big gap between the shared sticker version and the con sticker version. So look to see that shared sticker version start to creep up and maybe catch up to the con sticker version in the next few years. I do have another interesting point to bring up with this specific pop. And I don't know what it is about you anime collectors, but you guys love shelling out a ton of money for these con sticker pops when they first hit the market. This pop is probably the biggest drop-off out of any pop that I've seen in the last few years when it comes to FOMO in the beginning of the con. This pop made its way all the way up to $345 in value before harshly coming down in August of last year to about $150, and then it came down even further in the fall of last year to about $100, and it's slowly starting to creep up again, but man, I can't believe that this pop was going for triple at one point what it's going for now. But I know a lot of people, they have to have something in their collection when it first comes out, so I can relate to that. I can understand, but this one was one of the biggest drop-offs I've ever seen with a con exclusive. So we'll see if we get any more Demon Slayer pops this year. And the last pop that we have to talk about from last year's San Diego Comic-Con, minus all of the Freddys, which we will be addressing in part 3 of this series coming out in a few days, we have Starfire from the DC Universe. This was a Hot Topic shared exclusive, and I was actually very excited for this pop. The mold is fantastic. This is based on the comic book version of Starfire, and the colors on this one look absolutely gorgeous. However, there's just not a lot of hype for DC these days. Although this pop does have a little bit of value for the con sticker, the shared sticker is very affordable, coming in at only $17 right now, which is only $2 over retail. The con sticker is going for $55, which is nice to see. But once again, Funko did disappoint me with this box because they just used the same old Justice League box that they've used for several DC characters. Is Starfire not good enough? Is she not big enough of a character to warrant her own box art? Maybe her own logo at the top of the front of the box? Because I certainly think she does. She's a fantastic character from the Teen Titans. She's been in animated form. We've actually seen her in live action form on the Titan show on HBO, which was an amazing show, and I highly encourage you guys to go check it out. Starfire is a fantastic character, and I really hope if they continue to drop DC pops that they actually start to give them their own box instead of this very generic Justice League box. I know we do have one DC pop that has already been revealed, and they are giving it its Justice League box, so I'm a little disappointed with that, but that's Starfire, and that's the last pop that we have to talk about. But now we're going to move into the sodas. So we have a total of 6 sodas to discuss, and overall, I think that Funko actually did a really good job with the variety of characters that we got and the piece counts for last year's San Diego Comic-Con. I really hope they give us some good sodas, some good chases to chase after for this year's con. But in the meantime, let's start off with the first soda here. That one being an original Funko character in the form of Otto. Now, Otto is so freaking cool because he is the second soda ever to have 2 chases, and Funko actually hasn't given us a double chase soda since Otto, and I really hope they do, despite the massive Pog mix-up that we had with this soda. So if you guys were collecting during last summer, you might recall the big fiasco that we had here in the community for all the people who were lucky enough to pull chases. A lot of people were getting incorrect Pogs. People who were pulling the orange shirt chase version were getting the purple shirt Pog, and vice versa. People who were getting the purple shirt chase were getting the orange shirt Pog. And it did promote a lot of community interaction as a lot of people were trading. I know I did a couple trades with people to get the right Pogs with the right chases for my collection. But nonetheless, let's talk about price. So with there being 2 chases of this soda, the chase, if it was one, would have been 2,500 pieces, so they actually split it into 2. So both chases were pretty limited to only 1,250 pieces each. The chase version of the orange shirt is currently going for $55, while the purple shirt is currently trending for $60, which I think is extremely low for a super unique soda to have 2 chases. So I think this one, despite it not being attached to an IP or anything, with it being an original Funko character, I think if you don't have this one in your collection and you're a big soda collector, go out and grab both these chases, because I would be shocked if they weren't over $100 each by at least the end of the year, or maybe even next year if the soda popularity continues to go. So the next soda that we actually have to talk about is a Marvel soda in the form of Star-Lord. And we did get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in theaters a few months ago, and even though I haven't seen the movie yet, I've heard a lot of positive reviews, and a lot of people said it was one of the best Marvel films that we've gotten in a while since Endgame. Nonetheless, Star-Lord was given a very high piece count of 15,000 pieces. That is just way too much for a con exclusive soda, in my opinion. I don't think there should be any more than 10,000 pieces for any specific soda when it comes to any major con. Now, with this one though, they did knock it out of the park when it comes to the chase mold for this. So the common, he was actually masked, and then the chase version, he's unmasked with his Walkman instead of his 2 blasters. You can pick up the common version of this one for roughly $10 to $12, and the chase is only going for $55. I think this is a much better soda than the other version of Star-Lord that they released not too long ago, just because I love that there's such a difference between the common and chase version of this soda. Next up, we arguably have one of the best Diamond Edition chases that Funko has ever made, and this of course comes from the Hatsune Miku soda. This soda is hands down gorgeous. The mold is incredible. I don't even know anything about this character, but I love this soda so much. Just the way that Funko was able to have this character's hair come all the way down and then curl up at the bottom to actually help the character stand up. Just absolutely genius by Funko. This was given a beautiful Diamond Edition chase, and it was pretty limited. Only 7,500 pieces for Hatsune with a 1,250 piece chase. You can pick up the common for only about $15. The chase is going for $50, which I think is extremely undervalued for this one, and I think this is going to be something that hardcore soda fans are going to want to have in their collection down the road. So I'll be very curious to see if this stays at the $50 to $55 range, or if this goes up pretty dramatically in the coming years. Next up, we actually have a soda from Lord of the Rings. This one, of course, being Bilbo Baggins. It was limited to 10,000 pieces, and this one is pretty popular. Every time we get one of these in a collection, it sells lightning quick. There are a lot of Lord of the Rings fans out there, and they are pretty much completionists from what I've heard when it comes to the sodas from the Lord of the Rings franchise. Bilbo, like I said, limited to 10,000 pieces. You can pick up the common for about $19 to $20, while the chase is actually going for $70. So you're gonna have to pay a little bit more for the Bilbo Baggins chase. The chase is a little bit of a weird one. He is an angry slash tempted chase. I don't know much about Lord of the Rings, but there were a lot of people that I spoke to that actually said this was a very good chase for this character. So very happy to hear that, and we'll see how this trends in value in the coming years as well. So coming down to the final two sodas for today's video and for San Diego Comic-Con 2022, both of them are of the two most limited that we got for last year's con. The first one being Larfleeze from the Orange Lantern Corps of the DC Universe. This one, you can pick up the common version for $15, while the chase is going for $50. There's just not a lot of hype for DC, as I've mentioned a few times in this series, and I think that has had a direct impact on this chase. I think pretty much most people, even some DC fans, didn't know who Larfleeze was when this came out, and despite this being a very limited chase, it's pretty affordable when it comes to soda chases. It does have a glow chase and a slight mold change, but that really isn't enough to, hype up the price way too much. The last soda that we have here is one that I believe is the only soda that sold out on the initial drop from the con. This one, of course, being the Blacklight Huckleberry Hound. Very cool soda, no mold change whatsoever, and it's purely a character that Funko just dipped in blacklight paint and then rode the blacklight hype to get it to sell. Now, it was limited to only 5,000 pieces, giving it an 800 piece chase, and that chase is going to run you near $100, as it's currently trending for $95. It was trending for a little bit higher, but it has been trending downward, as I think less people are going after blacklight items. If you want to grab the common for your collection, you can pick that one up for $18. And I'll be curious to see if we get another blacklight pop or blacklight soda for this year's con. But guys, that's going to do it for part 2 of our San Diego Comic-Con Look Back series. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of some of these prices? What do you think about some of the drops in prices? And are you excited for this year's con? Now, because it is Monday, it is time for our weekly Monday motivation segment. Every single week, we like to bring you guys a small piece of Monday motivation to help kickstart your week and get you through the toughest day of the week, which is, of course, Monday. And today's Monday motivation ties directly into the holiday that we have tomorrow with 4th of July, and that is please be careful out there. There's a lot of people that like to set off fireworks, go to parties, go boating, do all kinds of crazy stuff for 4th of July, and of course we want people to have a good time and have fun. I can tell you that everybody who I work with at my base is on high alert for the next few days, because even though it's a very celebratory time here in the United States, celebrating our country's birthday, a huge milestone and everything, there are people every single year who unfortunately get hurt. So please be careful if you're driving anywhere. Please be careful if you're going boating. And please, please, please be careful if you are going to be setting off fireworks in any form or fashion. We definitely don't want to hear about anyone getting hurt, and we want everyone to have a good time in a safe manner. So that's going to do it for us today, guys. Be on the lookout for part 3 of this series. I'm actually super excited for that video. We're going to break down all the Freddies that we got for last year's online take-home box of fun, as well as all of the Freddies that were released in person at Fun Days. I'm so excited for the new Freddies this year, and we should be getting some reveals, hopefully, in a couple weeks time. So we will be back on Whatnot tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern for a soda auction. So if you're looking to grab a soda for your collection, definitely come on over. We do have a link in the description below that will get you $15 off your very first purchase. If you're new to the app, we'll be live starting at 7, and we'll go for a few hours and hang out with everybody. We always have a fantastic time over there, and we highly encourage you guys to come over. Even if you don't want to buy anything, you can just hang out in the chat, interact, and maybe you'll even win something for free through one of our giveaways. But that's going to do it for me. This video has been long enough. As always, don't stop shooting until you score.